was studying ethnomusicology in Portugal. At the time I had 22 years old, and I was interested to study rock and all the urban musical performances. I finished my degree in piano at the conservatory. I was studying also astrophysics because I wanted to go to Cape Canaveral. But then, in order to finish the piano, the conservatory, I needed to stop the astrophysics degree during 1 year. So I finished the superior degree on piano. And then I realized that I didn't know anything about music. I needed to study much more music than I studied until there. I knew how to play, and I played a lot, but I didn't know anything about music, okay? About history of music, theory of music, everything. So I started a new degree in musicology and in Lisbon. And the degree in musicology, they had a branch on ethnomusicology. So I discovered the ethnomusicology at the age of 22 years old, 21. And then there was a very interesting conference in Portugal, an international conference on ethnomusicology. It was the first international conference on ethnomusicology. It was in 1986, and one American anthropologist called Daniel Newman, who was an Indianist. He came to India since a long time ago to study the Guarana system. So he made he read two papers. One of them was called "What I Don't Know About Goan Music." This was 1986. And he was telling us, to a big community of ethnomusicologists, that it was important to come to Goa because it was a very rich musical context, and there were no ethnomusicologists studying Goa, etc., etc., etc. So, and I didn't want to come to India. I didn't want to come to Goa because I'm very anti-colonialist. So, and I didn't want to be connected with the Portuguese that goes to the former colony to study the music of the influence of Portugal. Neither to go to India because I didn't want to be connected with those anthropologists who used to go to India and became very exotic, transformed in an Indian person. So. Two things were against this idea of coming to Goa. But one of my teachers was also asking me, why don't you go to Goa? You heard Daniel Newman speaking about the importance of music in Goa. And at the same time, I saw in the newspaper the call for scholarships for the first time to come to India. Because, the relationships between Portugal and India were closed after 1961 up to 1974. And only after the revolution in Portugal, the Portuguese government accepted the integration of Goa in India. Only after 1974. And only in 1987, when Goa became a state, the cultural relationships between Portugal and India were So in 1987, they opened for the first time, since long time ago, the possibility for Portuguese to come to Goa for research. So I applied for that scholarship and I came. So I came to Goa to study Indian music, and then when I arrived here, I was expecting to listen something like sitar and tabla or something like Hindustani music or Carnatic music. I was studying a lot of Indian music, what we call Indian music in the West, which is a very, confused thing. And then when I arrived here, I was listening this music, this very, very Western music, like playing gumot like this, or singing mando or other musical genres in a very polyphonic way. And I was very surprised and very confused. I thought I want to go back because this is not India. So if I came to India, I want to study Indian music, not this. And this is a result of the colonialism. So I don't want to study this because I'm an anti-colonialist. So it was very, very, very difficult for me during 3 months fighting against these feelings of what am I doing here. Okay. So, but then I was
Lucky.
I was very lucky because I was traveling throughout Goa and connecting a lot of people here. At the time, people were helping me a lot, and I met, some people that already disappeared, like Bernd Fernandes, who organized the first Mando Festival, like Father Lourdino Barreto, like Mr. Dr. Carmo Azevedo, Dr. Manohar Rai Sardesai, I don't know, a lot of people, like Mr. Aleixo Costa, so a lot of people who were very literate and who were pushing me to look at this phenomena in a different ways, not like something that results from the colonialism. Of course it results from the colonialism, but also to see this kind of music, which is completely different from the music that we have in Portugal, as a music of resistance. So, and this was what makes me stay here and see that this kind of creativity that we don't have in other arts in Goa. Now we have in paints and in painting and in literature, but until in the past,
it was not there.
The literature was like a mimetic thing from the West. And the music, no. We have here completely different musical genres than we have in the West. So, and this is very interesting. They are influenced by the Western music, of course, because they are polyphonic, but they are unique. We don't have mando or dulpod or fugri or dalo or I don't know, dekni in Portugal, and we don't have in other parts of India. So it's very interesting to see that we have a musical repertoire which is really unique here in Goa. So this makes a difference. And of course it is not crystallized, it is not frozen. It's always changing. That was what I was saying before. It's very interesting to see the dynamics of this music.